Telecom for 7 years, and I was responsible in Bouygues Telecom of all the core network activities. Should I press here? Okay, the agenda, so not. Very quickly, Capgemini is an integrator, a global integrator worldwide. I mean, 180,000 people working for Capgemini, various domains. Among those domains, there is one which is communication and utilities and energy, because we put everything together because they are all related. A lot of R&Ds related to innovation worldwide, and some strong partnerships that we have with VMware, IBM, and all the things. Among the telecommunication, 5,000 people working, a lot of consultancy, but still R&D and so on. Focusing on the, I would say, a big presence in Europe, of course in France, one of the biggest one, because the company is born in France. And we have really a key strategic partner with Orange and all operators, but Orange mainly. Presence also in US, and perhaps a little less in the Asia, but we acquired 1 year ago, a big Indian company, so we are starting to explore this domain. Starting from the evolution, of course, I will go back to the old time that we see that the evolution is a full IP evolution. Evolution, is it? The quality is evolution to all of multimedia towards basically applications. I mean, the voice, the video, the messaging, they are becoming pure applications. And we are also the big evolution which is ongoing. I mean, this NFV, where basically everything will become software. So if I take the evolution, just to remember I mean, in the old time, you had all of this, I would say, proprietary solution. I mean, everything related to the vendors. And then the evolution of the core network, which has been only splitting the split of the core network, but everything was still, I mean, all those high-end services, which was proprietary, very difficult to develop a lot of things. And then we started to come with the evolution toward the IP, where all those terms of voice over LTE, voice over Wi-Fi, video over Wi-Fi, where we start to have an IMS core network for handling the media, and everything is really on over the EPC world for the data. So really the fact that, and then on top of it, what was a big change is that we started to have a new application server, new platforms that were coming, but still very SIP oriented. I mean, and still you had in the IMS architecture very often telephony application servers that was proprietary, where there was no possibility to do modifications and so on, and very complex. And then the OTT world was coming, and a lot of innovations coming and so on. And then we started to see also possibilities with new platforms, the Java platform. Sometimes as an operator, when I was an operator, I started to include some of the platform which were Java. The management of the operator, they were very worried about Java coming. I mean, Java was a name. We never developed something on a Java platform. But still it was possibility to develop new things. And then there was a lot of technology. We were, I mean, having platforms speaking about Janesly, we speak about REST and a lot of things. And then came WebRTC, which is really the web, where you can have even more and more people developing and a lot of technologies. And then what is a big step also is that from a proprietary world, basically, where everything is I mean, if you take all the infrastructure, everything relates basically of hardware of the vendors and so on. Suddenly we speak about a full solution which is fully software, and everything rely on either VMware, OpenStack, whatever the debate is. I mean, it's still there. And coming with the technology about IoT, where we don't speak anymore about EPC, we speak about SAOL EPCs, because basically you may have your EPC which has to be close to the IoT and so on. And this is really the fact that everything there becomes really a software solution, and it's something where the innovation has to be quick. I mean, when we speak about IoT, we have to be adapting very quickly the applications and so on. So everything has to be in a DevOps model, very agile, and a lot of capabilities available. So based on that, what we saw is basically is that there is a space for now integrators to come there and to compete with those big vendors that were really, I would say, taking all the space of this domain. And that was really one of the reasons why we decided in Capgemini to put all our efforts and trying to compete with those vendors, which we succeeded already. Other challenge very quickly, the challenge of the operators that we see during all the consultancy work that we do with the operator, which are moving to this NFV and so on. Basically, the fact that today they have proprietary solution, very difficult to scale. I mean, there is really the concept of the scaling. I mean, when you think about the 5G and the IoT, where you will have to be very, very efficient for scaling and so on, because the capacity on the EPC will be moving very quickly. So this is really one of the things. So you have to be agile to do this, because currently, I mean, the agility is not there. The second challenge, I mean, it's really basically the concept of improving also the organization and trying to really have a change in the way to handle the telco by itself, and even a solution. And really the things is that to do the differentiation and to have really the profitability, we are speaking more about time to market, agility and so on, DevOps and so on. And that's really what we see when we do a consultancy with big groups and so on. This is a big phase, which takes a lot of time for them because it's a big movement inside the operator network. And it's also very often the conflict about the OpenStack versus the VMware. There is a conflict also that suddenly we see more and more operators that are coming with a concept of NFV, but finally when we see it's not an NFV, it's a silo of NFV. You have an NFV for one vendor and an NFV for another vendor. So basically that's what we see. That's what basically takes a lot of time, because finally what they just gain is that they gain perhaps the fact that they don't have any dedicated hardware, but they still see that the solution, the software solution, is not really a solution that has been developed as an NFV solution, so the scalability is still not there, even if it's a software solution. So our vision of the evolution, so basically our vision is that there is an IP network, I mean full IP. We speak about IMS, I mean IMS is there, it works. We have tested a lot of solutions as an integrator. We have integrated solution and so on. So there is a base which is there, which is the IMS. And then I would say already on top of it, you can already develop today on IMS. Sometimes it's quite difficult, but you can still do more and more services on top of it. There is I would say, capabilities to do it. I mean, we have developed with Bouygues Telecom some multi-number service, and that we are even improving now ourselves towards new operators and new MVNOs. And then suddenly you start to see all this concept of VoLTE, voice over Wi-Fi. I mean, is it a revolution? I would say when I was in Bouygues, it took 3 years for doing VoLTE, voice over Wi-Fi. It's an evolution, I would say. It's not a revolution. It's basically a better quality. Some few things which are quite good. I mean, I can still have my data and my voice at the same time. So even if I'm looking at some nice YouTube and I receive a call, the YouTube doesn't stop. Can even select the ringing and which one I want to hear more. So if it's someone boring, I can still hear my YouTube. But basically, what does it bring? It brings the quality of the HD, or is it the HD, the 23? I mean, if you see it from the voice point of view, it's perhaps difficult to hear, but when you start to have music and so on, you see a difference. And then we speak also about the video. Video is quite also a subject which is a little complex, because not all smartphone, VoLTE voice over Wi-Fi support video. And that's where you see the necessity when you start to speak about video, about having this discovery capability. I will never speak about RCS, I will speak about features, okay? But suddenly when you speak about the video, it's important to see that the other one can do video, okay? And then we start to have evolution. 5? Okay. I should go quick. And then the next step is basically the IP messaging. We speak about SMS over IP. It's mainly also very important when we speak about voice over Wi-Fi, because you can have voice over Wi-Fi where you don't have any really 2G, 3G, so we have really to support it. And then we speak about all this one number multi-device services where you can have multi-device and so on, coming with the technology of WebRTC that allows you to have all those services. And then what we say is that you can suddenly also bring the real-time communication inside the web world. And finally, basically opening all this platform towards the external world, okay? So what we decided, so it's to build a foundation for the innovation. You remember this nice architecture that makes everything afraid. Basically, what is it? It's just a SIP server, okay? They have made it complex. I guess it's on purpose that they have done it complex, but it's just a SIP server. Basically, on top of it, you have the coming on the bringing the things. And what does it bring, basically? All this kernel will allow you to have the basic services, which is the billing, the security, the lawful interception, all the things, they are there. And when they are there, you don't have to worry anymore. You may have to squeeze a little some of the things, but it just brings you the foundation for doing things, okay? And then it gives also some better quality. It gives also the capability. So basically, the foundation will allow you to not worry anymore about your service. Does it work with a mobile, or does it work with another WebRTC of another vendor? I mean, the foundation is there for doing all this work. And really, the things which is important is that from a developer point of view, you will not have to think about it. What is also the innovation? If you see, basically this VoLTE voice over Wi-Fi, it's just a set of few services. The old services, which was a presentation of the number, some call forwarding and so on, but nothing more. I mean, it's just a set of pure services. What we can see, for example, on the presentation of the identity. Today, I just present a number or not. Press a code, I want to present my number, I don't want to present. What perhaps I want to do now, basically, because this is really one of the evolution, is that I want to present my contact detail, I want to present why I'm calling, because if it's something very urgent, I would like my wife to know that she should take the phone and so on. So basically, it's very important that instead of speaking about identity, we present really present your identity, which is a lot more rich and which can make that the call succeed or doesn't succeed, but at least the guy which is calling you, he knows already why you cannot take the phone. When I'm speaking about the diversion, like I say today, what is it? Just a diversion inside the VoLTE. So you divert to one number or you divert to your voicemail. That's the only thing that brings really the specification of the diversion. They speak about media, but most of the vendors we have seen, they don't do it. So it's even things that is amazing, because on the Samsung, you can select on the menu to divert based on the voice or media, video, but most of the core networks, they don't do it. So even if you do this, it doesn't work. But what I would like perhaps is to have an evolution which is more thinking about the reachability. I mean, basically, sort of do not disturb, where my diversion will be based on my calendar. It will take care of my Google calendar. It will take care of perhaps things that I've present, that I've said I don't want to be disturbed. But it will also decide to who I want to send. Perhaps I want to send to a group of persons sequentially. Perhaps I want to send a message. Perhaps I want to forward it as a message to my Facebook and so on. So there is really a set of associating the OTT and associating inside the diversion and giving a real value of the diversion. Because basically, the things are, a lot of people are looking at it. I want to do something which is bringing what I want to do with my call and perhaps also informing my contact why I cannot take the phone. Perhaps I want to send him a message saying, call me back at this hour or and so on. But I want to do my reachability instead of doing my diversion. The three-party call today, basically in the standard, it's only a three-party call, nothing really very complex. We can speak about more conference calls, sharing the location and trying to see where are the people, bringing all this sharing on device, but that's really evolution compared to this VoLTE. And then on top of it, what is important is the concept of any device, anytime, any. So, and bringing all this multi-device and the capabilities which are around it, meaning that I can transfer my call to my TV, I can pick up my call, because I'm in the sofa with my tablet. I can do also, for example, receiving a call in video, but my smartphone cannot take the video, so I will perhaps take it more on my TV, because I can, based on the media, select which device is the best and so on. And like Stefan was saying, I decide basically about this multi-device, about what I can do. On top of it, we are still working on the telco world. Why not doing a spam? Because today it's a world where you are spammed all the time. So the idea perhaps could be, and it is, to decide that the community says this number which is calling me, it's a spam. And when there is a call coming to someone, you send a message saying, be careful, it's considered as a spam. And then you can have a survey saying to the spam, give your name, otherwise I forward, I don't take the call. So there is plenty of things which are there, which are requested. There is also this concept that we have been working with Javier, the social to voice, bringing that, under 2G I receive a Facebook, but perhaps I cannot take the phone, so perhaps to map it as a voice, so I can receive the voice, I answer with the voice, and it's mapping to, okay? And of course, a lot of innovations that we want to bring. So based on that, we have built an ecosystem here, which is starting. It's all those actors we have been working with. It's all actors inside the area of NFV. We have taken actors which are okay. Hello? Okay, but I can speak like this. Okay, so we have taken an ecosystem of actors that we have put in a lab. Everyone is in a lab. Some are coming. We are working with Javier about, for example, Suma, which is a model that we are implementing as an HSS HLR. But all these actors is an ecosystem of people that bring us the capability to answer on any RFP, on whatever, selecting the appropriate partnership. Okay, so we are answering, for example, based on this model, on a lot of RFPs, selecting, depending, sometimes it's an RFP on voice over IP, so we select the appropriate actors, and we are already succeeding in showing that we can compete with the big vendors. And the thing is that if you see, we are building it really step by step in our lab. Everything is working. So we are testing it, we are testing that it's an NFV, so it can be scaled also very easily and so on. And everything is in place except the data for the moment that we are ready. And for concluding, the evolution of the telco to as an IT, via the NFV, brings us the capability to come in the world, and instead of bringing to the workforce, the main The main thing which is important for us is to bring the innovation. The innovation, we require what we call an advanced task. Instead of speaking today on the task, we speak about advanced tasks, and meaning a lot of platforms that allows the innovation, which bring an SDK, which allows to bring an API, and which can allow us to develop application in a short time. All the applications I've shown you, they are developed in few months, because we are also considering when you are entering in an operator, unfortunately, you can develop the service in few weeks. The problem is that you have all those legacy things to do, legal interceptions and so on. And this is really the things we want to place ourselves as an integrator of the innovation and demonstrate the innovation from the others. And very often when we receive the operators, we try to speak, instead of MMTEL, we speak about this service that can be provided by the third parties. And that's why we have built an investment on a lab where we receive all our operators and customers and we present it. And the lab that we have in Capgemini is available in all countries in the world. Well, some areas we have not yet managed to do it, but at least in Europe and US. That's all.